I'm Tammi Arender with Agri-Pulse, where we take you to the heart of ag policy. This week, we're on location at Penn State's Ag Progress Days, one of the largest outdoor agricultural exhibitions in the Northeast. And this is where agriculture's past, present, and future all come together, bringing farmers, researchers, agribusiness leaders, policymakers, and families to one place to see what's happening across the ag industry. And there is plenty of horsepower on display here, from the newest tractors and farm equipment to the precision agriculture technology designed to help farmers do more with less. We're also seeing some of the technology that could change how work gets done on the farm in the future, including robotics, automation, and new tools being developed to address labor challenges and improve efficiency. And alongside all of that, new technology is a look back at where agriculture has been, with antique tractors and equipment offering a reminder of just how dramatically farming has changed through the generations. Well, there are field tours too, and demonstrations where our farmers can get an up-close look at research being put into practice, from crops and conservation onto new production methods as well. And Ag Progress Days is also about conversation, bringing farmers face to face with researchers, industry leaders, and policymakers to talk about the issues affecting their operations and the future of American agriculture. Now, we'll visit with Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding, as well as the Dean of the Peter and Ann Tombros College of Agricultural Sciences at Penn State University. But our first guest is Pennsylvania Congressman and House Agriculture Committee Chairman G.T. Thompson. And we know the House passed its version of a new farm bill, but that legislation failed to advance through the Senate Agriculture Committee before lawmakers left Washington for their August recess. So when Congress returns in September, where does the farm bill go from here? Is there still a path to getting it across the finish line? And what will that mean for America's farmers and ranchers?
I'm confident it'll be done before the end of the year. We put together a great farm bill because we listened to the farmers, we listened to rural communities, to the forester, to all the key stakeholders in America's number one industry, which is agriculture. And it really is a great bill. You know, it's got at the heart of it, there's 200 bipartisan bills. It's just not one bill, 200 pieces of legislation incorporated into it. And I've got complete confidence in Chairman John Boozman. He's a dear friend. He was a mentor to me when I first came into the House. And he had an interesting markup. I'm not offended in any way by what he put forward. I thought it was, 99% of it was what we had done. He did add, he had the ability to add year-round E15. We didn't have jurisdiction to do that. I'm very supportive of that concept. And he was negotiating with Senator Klobuchar. They gave a 1-month extension, increased the upper limit penalty. And I think he negotiated that with the other side. So I'm not sure what the holdout was. Chairman Boozman is a good guy and he's smart. So he didn't adjourn the markup. He recessed. And I can tell you, he's probably negotiating right now. And then they come back, I think, the second week in September. So I'm anticipating that we'll have a solution by then. He has to thread the needle of getting 60 votes in the Senate. And like I said, I have complete confidence in Chairman Boozman.
Talking about the few days that are left before we get to the end of the year, I know you've also been a champion for some other farm aid that's coming along, or that could come along. Is there any chance that farmers will get any additional aid before this year is out?
Well, that's also something else we passed out of the House. $12 billion was a part of the Budget Reconciliation 3.0. That $12 billion would be divided between commodities, specialty crops. I think specialty crops have been underfunded in terms of bridge payments. And that's all this is. It's bridge payments to get us to the incredible improvements in agriculture policy that we have put forward, listening to the American farmer.
Let's talk about the workforce, the Agricultural Workforce Act. Where are we with that? Do you think the Judiciary Committee will take that up?
Well, they need to. It is a critical need. If we, this is really the first, I think, serious attempt in a common sense way to update the H-2A program, one created by Ronald Reagan under his leadership. This is a non-immigrant, non-amnesty, temporary agricultural worker visa. Everybody goes home. Now they can come back, but they have to reapply. They have to go through another, they have to go through an initial, but the criminal background check. You have to show experience working in agriculture. And so this is this really is a bill that makes sense. We were able to expand it to to season or to year round, and it never applied for year round in the past. So it really is an incredible piece of legislation. If we don't do this, the American consumer, as we continue to lose operations, farm operations, and processing operations due to workforce needs, we're going to see grocery prices increase sevenfold. And that's unacceptable. We're always very proud of the fact we provide in this country the highest amount of quality and, quite frankly, the most affordable food.
We sure do appreciate Chairman Thompson taking the time to visit with us today here at Ag Progress Days.
As a cooperative, our customers are our owners. They share our profits and help guide our business. We're not just another lender. We're Farm Credit, and we're here for you.
I think some of sustainability to farmers just comes second nature. If you asked a farmer, are you sustainable? They'd probably look at you maybe a little funny and say, I don't think I'm doing anything that special, but it really is just what they do. We're all farmers, and our goal is taking the best care of our land, our cattle, our natural resources.
This is my sustainability story.
We continue now our conversation with Chairman G.T. Thompson here at Penn State's Ag Progress Days.
Well, this is such an exciting, and this is the 50th anniversary of Ag Progress. This is where we celebrate that agriculture truly is science, technology, and innovation. Whether it's back at the turn of the century, Penn State was making incredible innovations as a university for agriculture, as a land-grant university. And now to Tilva and all the different the new AI advancements that are being done. A lot of this stuff is on display here today. Whether it's a part of equipment or a part of technology or research for increasing yield or output. This is a place to be able to see it and celebrate it for 3 days.
Talk about that research funding and that piece of the puzzle that can come in the Farm Bill. Is Washington or lawmakers taking care of that? Because that research is very instrumental in keeping agriculture moving forward.
You bet we are, and I made sure that we're doing that. We, basically, we are ahead in the world when it comes to agricultural research, but there are other countries like China that are catching us. We changed that with this Farm Bill. We did significant investment in research. We created the first mandatory spending for research facilities. As I like to say, in our agriculture universities, whether land grants or not, we have a lot of successful alumni, and sometimes they're very generous. They'll put their name on an administration building or a classroom, but I've yet to meet anybody that wants to put their name on a sow barn. And that's the kind of research facilities we desperately need. If we're going to stay ahead of animal diseases and work on animal health issues, we need those types of research facilities. So today, and that was a part of Farm Bill 1.0. So universities are currently applying for what is mandatory spending. It doesn't have to go through appropriations. They're applying for grant monies to be able to compete and to build these facilities, and that will be annually now going forward. So we have stepped up in a big way, and it is in law. This was a part of Farm Bill 1.0 that President Trump signed on July 4th of 2025.
We're in Pennsylvania, which means we're in a dairy state. We love our milk. We love our dairy products. Where are we with getting whole milk, flavored and unflavored, in our schools?
It is the law of the land. It only took me 15 years to accomplish that. That's a legislative process, unfortunately. But the stars aligned, and I was really proud to stand earlier this year with President Trump and a number of dairy farmers in the Oval Office where he signed whole milk for healthy kids into law. And it's not a mandate. It opens up the option of serving whole milk and flavor, and not just for school lunch, but for breakfast, for special events, for wraparound programs, for the child care programs, so just any and every opportunity. We do that because we know that whole milk is the most nutritious beverage God has ever created, but we don't mandate it. And that's why we see a lot of grassroots organizations like 97 Milk and others, local 4-H, FFA, reaching out to the school board members and really asking them, to treat our children right by giving them access to that most nutritious beverage. And as someone from a long line of dairy farms, I can tell you, we lost a lot of dairy farms when we lost at least one generation of milk drinkers when they changed the law and took that out of the schools. And so this is also great for dairy farms of all sizes. I always believe in using what God's given us, and that includes 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so that's why I've traveled the country, traveled the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, really doing listening sessions in a bipartisan way, actually bicameral. On some of the trips we've done, we've had senators come out and join us. It was wonderful.
We sure do appreciate Chairman G.T. Thompson spending some time with us and talking about those major issues. Coming up next, we're going to have a visit with the Dean of the College of Agricultural Sciences at Penn State University, Dr. Troy Ott.
I've worked at Coca-Cola for 21 years.
We're delivering Dr. Pepper from our brand new facility in Dallas, Texas.
We're really proud to still make Pepsi products in America.
You don't need a college degree to work here, but I put 4 kids through college by working here.
This is a great place to work with great people and great American brands.
Grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, they all depend on us.
We deliver great paying jobs.
We deliver beverages people love.
We deliver for our community.
For 35 years, soybean farmers have invested together to build demand for U.S. soy at home and around the world. Through the Soy Checkoff, farmers turn every dollar into stronger markets for U.S. soybeans, driving innovation and partnerships across feed, food, fuel, sustainable production, and beyond, led by farmers and built to last. U.S. Soy, 35 years of delivering value back to the farm and investing in the future of agriculture.
And welcome to Pennsylvania Furnace, Pennsylvania, home to the Larson Research Farm of Penn State University. Now, this site has been home to Ag Progress Days for 50 years. Had the chance to chat with Dr. Troy Ott, the Dean of the College of Agricultural Sciences at Penn State, and he told me ag is a top priority for this land-grant university.
Well, really, the College of Ag Sciences is the core of Penn State. This is how Penn State formed as an agricultural college and grew from the Farmers High School in 1855. And now Penn State's College of Ag Sciences is one of a number of colleges that serve just about every discipline that you can imagine that you would find at a university. And still, the mission of the College of Ag is central to the mission of Penn State, and that is serving citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And I know that a lot of folks, when they think Penn State, they do think academics. They also think football. What do you want them to know about agriculture and this land-grant university?
Well, agriculture is so essential for the health and thriving of Pennsylvania and Pennsylvanians. And so what we do here in the college is support farmers, agribusinesses, natural resources, and communities that make Pennsylvania a place that people can grow and stay here for generations. And so it's all about economic growth and supporting the citizens of the Commonwealth.
You also have a large research arm. Let's talk about technology and innovation as it pertains to agriculture and our farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, and what's old is new again. Technology has always been at the center of what we do, bringing new technologies. You think back to the first industrial revolution when we were developing plows and ways to thresh grain and other things. And we just continue on a long arc of developing, testing, and helping farmers adopt technology that allows them to be more profitable. When you have a profitable farm, you have a sustainable farm, you have a farm that's handed down from generation to generation, and that land is protected.
Continuing that research, you need money. You need funding. What do you want our lawmakers in D.C. to know about continuing that funding so that you have certainty into the future?
Yeah, and first and foremost, we can stand on our record. That funding is a tremendous return on the investment. We have a long history of delivering innovation, and really that funding provides the capacity that you see around this Ag Progress Day site today, whether it's our extension professionals delivering science-based information to help farmers farm, whether it's our health and nutrition group helping people live healthier lives, whether it's our ag economists, our ag engineers. That investment is delivering. As I thought about what this day means, it's a sort of a cornucopia of a harvest that came from investment over decades to make sure that we were not reactive, but we were predictive. We were getting ahead of things. We were making sure that we would be able to continue to compete in an ever competitive marketplace.
Talking about Ag Progress Days, your 50th year. How special is that? And how did it come about? Why did you want to start this?
Well, first of all, let's just set the record straight. It's 50 years at this site. But in the 1800s, it was a road show. We traveled around the state, oftentimes on trains, and there's pictures of the dean standing on a barn roof talking to crowds in horses and buggies. We have been going out and around. It got bigger and bigger, and finally in 1976, they said, we're going to just have one location here in the center of the state where we can be accessible to the entire state and put everything here. And so it's the 50th year on this site, but we've been doing this for over 100 years.
I'm sure you're drawing people from all over Pennsylvania, the surrounding area. What do you hope they go home with and take back to their farm?
Every farmer I know is trying to respond and adapt to a rapidly changing world. And so I hope that they come here and see things that they haven't seen before, learn things that they didn't know that might help them have that competitive advantage that they need to continue to farm profitably. And we are really positioned here in the Northeast Corridor to be a big player in the technologies around controlled environment ag, vertical ag, aquaculture, hydroponics, and other areas where the technology is just maturing, and Penn State's going to play a big role in that. We have an initiative in the college called Plant Works, and at the center of that is a new facility that we'd like to build called the Plant Innovation Complex, and we're working hard to get the funding to build the Plant Innovation Complex.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ott. You and your staff have lots to be proud of here at Penn State University. We're not done yet. Up next, the Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture. He joins me, and we talk about some of the big news for the Pennsylvania ag community. Stay with us.
I've worked at Coca-Cola for 21 years.
We're delivering Dr. Pepper from our branded facility in Dallas, Texas.
We're really proud to still make Pepsi products in America.
You don't need a college degree to work here, but I put 4 kids through college by working here.
This is a great place to work with great people and great American brands.
Grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, they all depend on us.
We deliver great paying jobs.
We deliver beverages people love.
We deliver for our community.
America never stops. Thanks to the financial support of Farm Credit, neither do the farmers and ranchers who call her home. Since the beginning, we've been helping rural America show the world what hard work can achieve. But the job is far from over. And as rural America grows further, we'll be there.
We're here at Ag Progress Days, just down the road from Penn State University. Now, this farm show has been more than just an exhibition of machinery, seed, and field trials. It's also put innovation and technology on show. The Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding, talks about how Pennsylvania plans to stay at the forefront in ag technology. But first I asked him what he thought was keeping his key state farmers up at night.
Oh, they sleep pretty well, but they're also they're light sleepers, I'll say. Listen, they're worried. They are not exempt from any of the pressures of tariffs, of fuel, of workforce, of the changing dynamics of the marketplace, consumer preferences. Make your list. Every one of our PA farms are telling us about it, asking about it. There's still a hopefulness in their voice, but they're also like, listen, we're heading to fall and harvest, man. You've got to help me out. Is there going to be a margin in this season or not? So that's one issue. And just, I think their general anxieties about the unsettledness within the political scene. They just don't like this division. So it's there. They're trying to take a long view as they do and do well. But at the same time, we've got to be realistic about what we can do as a state, where it intersects with the federal government, keep the partnerships together, make them appreciate government, because a lot of things that happen right now are a result of what the government's doing or maybe not doing.
We as farmers, ranchers, depend on certainty for that next year and down the road. Without that farm bill, that certainty isn't there. You guys have been proactive in that, haven't you? You actually have a Pennsylvania farm bill?
Yeah, we did a Pennsylvania farm bill about 8 years ago, and it was a result of a couple of things. One, we did an ag impact study looking at Pennsylvania agriculture. And inside of that, of course, we quantified its size, scale, significance. But there are a lot of sort of questions about, we know what it is and who's doing it and where and what's happening, but what does it need to stay here? And that became our farm bill. So we built that. We've put $120 million of state money in. It's farm vitality and organic and looking at conservation practices and getting into schools and food nutrition. A lot of really good work, working with our veteran community. So we did that. It's a complement to our federal farm bill. It is no substitute for it. Right? You still need those base pieces, critical partnerships, but it's a stronger farm bill as a result of the state's work.
Looking here at progress days, I'm seeing a lot that has to do with research, with AI, with technology. Where is Pennsylvania in that game?
Well, we signed an agreement today of sort of building this alliance. And the alliance came out of we've got a land-grant university here at Penn State. We've got Carnegie Mellon. We've got a vet school. We've got these tech entrepreneurs. We've got all kinds of things happening. But it wasn't happening in any sort of unified way. Right. So the alliance really allows us to build that. Let's bring in the researchers, the entrepreneurs, the marketplace, the private investors, along with the state, and keep building it out. But you've got some really wonderful things happening here. The challenge, of course, for us is you've got this diversity of ag. So we've got a lot of scale that needs to be accommodated inside the tech community, right? We have a lot of topography that needs to be accommodated there. But nonetheless, every one of our producers are looking for innovation. And then we did an innovation fund that Governor Shapiro sort of launched 2 years ago. And it was this link between the research and development and the marketplace. And we are challenged by the marketplace for all of that and how do we support it. But when you have partners like Penn State and the Land Grant University, and that's what Ag Progress Day sort of allows us to do, is to see who that partnership is and who you're doing it with. And to me, it's always comforting to know that. And you've got these great thinkers who challenge our thinking to do better. So that's the value of both being in this industry, diversity, but also celebrating 50 years of Ag Progress Days.
It was a great opportunity to visit with the Secretary of Pennsylvania Agriculture, Russell Redding, and we're going to keep an eye out for what's ahead when it comes to innovation, education, and technology in Pennsylvania. Back with more Agri-Pulse in just a moment.
For 35 years, soybean farmers have invested together to build demand for U.S. soy at home and around the world. Through the soy checkoff, farmers turn every dollar into stronger markets for U.S. soybeans, driving innovation and partnerships across feed, food, fuel, sustainable production, and beyond, led by farmers and built to last. U.S. Soy, 35 years of delivering value back to the farm and investing in the future of agriculture.
I was kind of known as the sheep guy around here. The fire went from north to south, and it blew that way, and it went straight down the house. Lost all of our sheep literally a week before we start lambing. And I was really in a bad place. I happened to notice this Farm State of Mind piece of paper. And I picked up my cell phone, and I made a phone call, and that was the best phone call in my life. I'm glad that I'm still here, so don't do something permanent over a temporary situation.
Well, it's time for me to wrap things up here at Penn State's Ag Progress Days. It has been a thrill to see this ag show in person and see firsthand how innovation, education, and collaboration are helping shape the future of agriculture. You know, farmers, researchers, industry ag leaders, all here sharing ideas and looking for practical solutions to the challenges facing our farmers and ranchers every day. And we will continue that conversation next week. I'm Tammi Arender. I look forward to seeing you next time on Agri-Pulse Newsmakers.
Newsmakers is a production of Agri-Pulse Communications. You can also find our new content on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow Agri-Pulse and our correspondents on social media to get breaking news and more. For agriculture, trade, food, environment, and regulatory news, your source is agripulse.com.